Sundarbans, the beautiful forest of the tidal land, a forest of mangrove trees where the tiger rules. The Sundarbans is the largest river delta in the world, and it is located where Ganga and Brahmaputra meets before reaching the Bay of Bengal. It is the huge difference between high tide and low tide that is so special to the Sundarbans. A crab and a small fish are now being prepared for today's dinner. We are going to the local market, where fish, fruits and vegetables are bought and sold. It's also a place where people meet to chat and entertain each other. Like this guy standing with his rooster ready for a cockfight.
Give some money to the owner of those rooster and they will fight with it.
The men in the village use the low water to prepare bait and equipment for crab fishing later in the day. It is not a hook, but actually just a piece of salted fish that has also been dried. This bait is tied to a long line which is laid out along the riverbank. We meet some men who are busy building a new boat, an ordinary fishing boat used by the local fishermen here.
If he regularly come here, it takes near about 1 month to complete this one.
The children are also involved when father works with the boat. Maybe this is what they will be doing later in life. The economy for individuals and the village depends on good fishing. There are many locals who rely on their illegal income from crab fishing and honey collection. The best area for this activity is out on the island, inside the national park. Preferably in the small and narrow rivers that cut into the islands. In these small boats, the fishermen are an easy prey for the tiger.
So the one man was attacked by the tiger a few days ago, and this guy was there, and they are also doing that crab collection near the fencing. And suddenly they saw that boat coming along with the body of that guy, and they are asking for help because they are using the shortcut road inside the sanctuary. One person is busy with rowing boat, another one busy to collect crabs from along with the net. Crabs from the road. So that's why everyone is busy, and only this person will look after around them. But sometimes they are so much busy to collect crabs, that's why they cannot properly look after all areas. That's why the tiger gets chance to jump on the boat and take that middleman. Tiger always choose the middleman who is so much busy with the rope and net. As all the prey available here for the tigers is difficult for killing them, the human being is the most easiest prey they ever have.
Few weeks ago, this village lost one of its men. He was taken by the tiger when he was out on one of the forbidden islands to catch crabs. Coincidentally, a Norwegian grandfather and his grandson were visiting here, and they experienced the pain in the village when they lost one of their own. The man who is rowing our fishing boat helped transporting the dead man to shore.
At the time they met with the family of that victims and they found that body is still there at their house. They got shocked to see how the tiger punctured the backside of the neck.
The Sundarbans is probably the only place in the world where both Hindus and Muslims worship the same god, Bonbidi, the goddess of the forest. They offer flowers which they set out on the river and hang prayer ribbons on the branches along the riverbank. Here is a local drama group performing a play that shows the story of Bonbidi. Everyone must use the forest and the sea without greed and evil intentions. After a long battle, Bonbidi finally won over the evil in the world, who according to the story is dressed as a tiger. It is 6 in the morning and the boat is ready and waiting for us. There is a special atmosphere here so early in the morning. There is peace and quiet. And the local priest has come to give us the blessing. It is a warm morning and we sense a somewhat mysterious expectation of what the day will bring. Egrets are a type of heron found in many places in the Sundarbans. The sun has now risen higher in the sky, and we meet fishermen who are going out to pull their nets. Water monitor lizard, a small version of the famous Commodore dragon. These are good hunters with a sniffing tongue and a mouth full of bacteria. We have seen the deer in the bushes close to the riverbank. Very careful, always on the lookout for hungry predators. Watching the wildlife in the Sundarbans is usually best at low tide. We can see the special roots of the mangrove forest here, and the trees are trying to hold their breath until the water starts to rise again. Mudskipper is the name of this fish that partly lives on land. They do not have any special breathing organs, but as long as the riverbank is moist, oxygen is absorbed through the skin and gills. Here we can see how erosion affects the landscape. Suddenly, we are informed that there is a large crocodile close to the water, inside the bushes. The lesser adjutant stork can often be seen along the riverbank, standing still and waiting for its prey. It walks in the mud and finds lots of good food. The vegetation and the forest are the same while we have sailed many kilometers into this tidal land. A red jungle fowl walks around looking for food. Just above our heads we spotted a typically Indian osprey, Brahmani kite. A crab hole is passed before we are out sailing again. The tea we had for breakfast was just a warm-up for today's lunch, which is made and served on board the boat. It is so wonderful to enjoy the food while sailing around this magical nature, on the lookout for new animals and new experiences. We are very much fascinated by this landscape, with large channels with small narrow creeks that goes like tongues into the landscape. It is these narrow creeks that are so dangerous when the fishermen enter here to catch crab and collect honey. Then we discover a family of wild boars. They are the tiger's favorite food and are therefore very shy and always on the lookout. Inside the bushes stands an older and more experienced pig, enjoying his food. It is wary of the slightest sound or movement. Here it is probably best to get away and quickly. Now we have to start the journey back. Unfortunately, we didn't get to meet the tiger this time, but we saw fresh tracks of the tiger that went down the river on one bank, then came back up on the other side. The sun begins to set in the west. Now the animals will have peace and nature will be allowed to rest for the night. At the harbor, people are now meeting each other after a long day with hard work. The heat and the light, colors and sound of this tidal land make a very strong impression on us.